You was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit. You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short-end money.
Oh, I had some bets down for you. You saw some money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it.
I have no sense of passage of time. When I was 4 years old, I thought I'd never grow up. I thought that life would go on forever. And then I worried somewhere in the middle years that life is going away and I haven't done this, I haven't been here, I haven't done that, I have been denied that experience, I've denied myself that experience. And so I tried to go everywhere at once and do everything at once. And now time is much slower for me. It's very slow.
Do you mind being 65?
Not at all. I'm happier now than I ever was in my life.
Why are you happy?
Don't know. Those are the mystery questions that one can never answer. If I knew the answer to that, then I'd be the wisest man on earth, wouldn't I? Why did I wind up being an actor rather than a scientist who was, I don't know, studying entomology or be an animal trainer? Why did I make that choice?
Do you know why?
No, I don't, because it wasn't financial. Because it was financial, I could have made a lot of money. Maybe $200 million if I'd saved it. But I had no interest in that.
You had no interest in acting in a movie after movie after movie over the years?
No, that's a waste of life. It's a waste of time. I don't find it stimulating or interesting. It's not a consuming passion. Do you want to be in a movie?
No.
Why not?
I don't know how to do what you do.
Listen, everybody in this life is an actor. Nobody goes around. You wake up in the morning and you say, "Hi, how are you?" You son of a bitch. And people don't say what they want. How many men and women find other men and women attractive and pretend to be casual and just buff their nails and be sort of bored with the whole thing, but are really impassioned by that? How many times have you seen a woman wearing a really ugly dress and say, "Oh, I'm so glad you could come, Meg. Sit down, please. God, you've got an ugly dress on. Where did you get that dress? It's really repulsive." How many times have you done that? Never. You've just said, "Hi, Meg, how are you? Come and sit down. Wonderful to see you." That's acting.
I understand that. But what I mean is that when you have a special talent to become a character.
No, nobody becomes that. I don't believe that anybody is first of all, you can't act unless you are what you are and who you are.
Now you come to me and you say, "Don Corleone, give me justice." But you don't ask for respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather.
The making of The Godfather in 1971 drew several real-life Godfathers out of the shadows. They had some concerns about the script, about the depiction of Italian Americans, and brought pressure on Paramount's corporate head.
Well, Joe Colombo was the famous fellow who walked into Charlie Bluedorn's office and says, "We don't want to hear the word mafia mentioned. Cosa Nostra." All those guys. And Charlie Bluedorn said, "Well, boys, whatever you want, you know, we're glad to serve it up."
So the studio tried to accommodate the Colombos and Buffalinos of the world by including them as extras in the wedding sequence. And it was the shooting of that scene that led to what Brando laughingly described as the most critical error of his life.
Oh, I was bombed. It was a long day, and it was a dull day, and everybody was drinking, and I really got ripped, completely snockered, and so I mooned the audience. And it was all Mr. Buffalino's family. And I didn't know that at the time, otherwise I wouldn't have done it, naturally. I didn't mean it as an insult, I meant it as a joke, but I was so drunk I couldn't hit the floor with my hat. What's that?
Come on. No, hey, listen. Let's drink a toast to our life in the country. Huh?
You're a nature lover? You did tell me that.
Oh, I'm a nature boy.
I came from a bunch of Irish drunks, my mother and father. They had a half a bag on most of the time. And, but along with that, I come from an Irish background. And I think one of the defenses that you find for people who are beset, such as the Irish, life is too grim generally for most people. And when you're down to your last nickel and your last hope, I think that all you've got left is laughter. When I see Laurel and Hardy after a bad day, or I see, what the hell is his name, W.C. Fields pulling somebody's tooth in the dentist chair, or Charlie Chaplin, who do you think is funny? If you have to laugh, you think, I can't stand it anymore today. I have to get a laugh.
Right.
What video do you buy?
Well, you know what? I like David Letterman. Do you ever watch David Letterman?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Dave. I've been an admirer of his for some time.
Dave doesn't do that.
Yeah, but I do it at the mention of his name.
Brando loves playing, toying with his audience. It's part of his technique, a way of borrowing from real life that's influenced a generation of actors, including his co-stars in The Godfather. So when you did The Godfather, James Caan and Al Pacino, they all considered you to be such a great teacher.
How do you know that?
Read that. Heard about it.
You read it?
Heard about it.
Heard about it? You shouldn't ever believe what you hear, and you shouldn't ever believe what you read.
You don't believe that they really thought that you were
I have no
teaching them
knowledge
something?
of what they believe or what they don't believe. Jimmy Caan, I can tell you what I believe. He's one of the funniest guys I ever met.
Don't you realize that you're thought of as the greatest actor ever?
Tim's the greatest actor ever. He pretends he loves me. He wants something to eat. Get out of here.
No, it's true.
What's the difference? See, that's a part of the sickness in America, that you have to think in terms of who wins, who loses, who's good, who's bad, who's best, who's worst. We always think in those terms, in the extreme terms. I don't like to think that way. Everybody has their own value in a different way, and I don't like to think who was the best at this or that. I mean, what's the point of it?
Please sit down, Mr. Dutoy. I will take your case. I will take your case if only to make it abundantly clear how justice in South Africa is misapplied when it comes to the question